This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
So you know, Dave, how I've gotten injured the last couple of big trips I've taken.
Yes,
you know.
right. Well, let's do the recap show. You broke your arm in Switzerland.
My arm in Switzerland.
Okay.
Biking. I broke my my ankle and leg in Wyoming.
Okay, sure.
Hiking.
And you went to Akron this past weekend.
And this past weekend we went to Akron. I'm proud to report that I did not get injured.
Okay.
But
yeah,
somebody that we went with did.
Really? Family member?
Family member.
Okay, let me guess.
Yes. There's only two others came along.
Okay, it was Sean and Bridget.
Sean and Bridget, yep.
Bridget, what'd she do?
It was Bridget.
Oh.
All right, so we were at this soccer tournament, and you know there were lots of little kids running around, and Bridget always likes to play with the little kids. No, in this case they were not wearing lederhosen. That's a stereotype. But anyway,
they were eating strudel, and
she bent down and she was running around, you know, playing with them, and they were squealing with delight. And this one boy turned around and started running right at her, and headbutted her in the face and broke her nose.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Her whole face is black and blue right now. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's not so awesome, really. But it did make me feel a little better that it wasn't me this time.
Well, didn't she, like, every time you go on vacation now, don't ruin this trip?
Yeah. Oh, she got, last time when I broke my foot, she was mad at me for breaking my foot. But
when is it, and I passed this years ago, when you're married, is it like after 25 years perhaps? Everything's off the table. I mean, you can be mad about anything at that point, right?
I thought it was like 5 years.
Yeah. Now it's like everything is your fault.
In this case, everything is fine. Okay. She's, you know, it's not a serious thing. It didn't get moved out of whack or anything, and she has broken it 3 times now, so it's not like she knew exactly how to handle it. And,
really?
Yeah.
How often?
It does look like I punched her in the face, but you know, people will.
How did she? Can I ask? And I don't know if you want to share.
Yeah.
P. Diddy, but
how did she break her nose?
The other 2 times.
One time playing soccer.
Okay. She
got kicked in the face, and I think the other time was with a golf club. Yeah, I know. Before I knew her, both the other 2 times were before I knew her. I mean,
she slipped in the bathtub.
Swear to God, hand on a Bible, this was not me. It's time for Minutia Men.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie production on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
Do you remember the story? And maybe I shouldn't be telling it, but what the hell?
Oh, no.
Yeah, whenever I start a story with maybe I shouldn't be saying it.
Yeah.
Dane and his ex-wife Carolyn went to London or somewhere.
Yeah.
And she really did slip in the bathtub and like crack her, got a huge black eye. You know, just whatever.
I don't remember this.
And throughout that entire trip, everybody in the hotel was thinking that.
Yeah.
It's Dane.
Well, you know, that was the first thing I thought. Will you just, as you meet people, say this, tell the story of the kid headbutting right away before they start thinking? I mean, the advantage I have is that, look at me.
Yeah, you're not going to, right.
Everyone knows I'm not going to do that.
Right, she could easily take you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Who was the kid that everybody picked on that beat you up? Doug Meinhardt?
No, he did not beat me up.
Okay.
But he and I fought to a draw once.
Okay.
And it was not, it was, let's say it wasn't Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier.
Okay, so.
It was in that era.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you're saying fight to a draw, like
we both cried. You know, well, as boys do.
How old were you?
Like 9.
Okay, well, I cried at 13. At 8th grade, Stuart Coy hit me, and I cried.
And that's where you got Femme of the Year.
Oh, my God. I didn't make that correlation. You're right. 3 weeks later, I was Femme of the Year.
Well, luckily, they weren't handing out Femme of the Year in 1973 or
well, you would have shared it with Doug Meinhardt.
Yeah, we would have both won it.
Do you keep in touch with Doug Meinhardt?
No, I have no idea what happened to him.
I think we got to
Oh, my God. I hope he doesn't hear this. Poor guy.
We have to have a reunion.
He was a nice kid. What
was the fight about? Do you remember?
No idea.
Did he get beaten up by a girl?
He did get beaten up by a girl, yes.
So he got beaten up by a girl and you drawed with him. So you essentially got beaten up by a girl.
Never officially. Never officially.
The transitive property.
Don't you have a story to share with people?
Yeah, this comes from The Guardian. You know, for any of you who ever need any fun things to read, just go to The Guardian.
The Guardian is a good source for that.
Headline: Buyer who paid $18,000 for invisible sculpture is trying to resell it for a profit.
Oh.
In the most
wait.
Yeah,
invisible sculpture.
It's an invisible sculpture.
Yeah.
In the most expensive game of make-believe ever recorded, an anonymous art collector from Milan shelled out about $18,300. It was at that time. This is in 2021. That was 15,000 euros at the time, and the
inflation.
Dollar isn't as strong as it was back then. So he paid 15,000 euros for a sculpture that doesn't exist, at least in not any visible way. Italian artist Salvatore Garro sold the invisible artwork Io Sona, which translates to I am, through an auction house named Artright, offering not a statue, not a painting, but just pure imagination in a 1.5 by 1.5 meter empty space.
Oh, wow.
The buyer, whose identity remains as elusive as the sculpture.
Yeah. Like the guy who bought Tom Brady's second to last football touchdown.
He received a certificate of authenticity and instructions on how to display the vacuum of energy. You can't touch it. You can't bump into it. Don't put it, it was this whole thing, right? Certificate of authenticity. And it was billed as a space full of energy. Okay.
You sure this isn't your project?
Well, hold on. There's going to be a reference here. Uh-huh. Now the buyer, after having it for 5 years or 4 years, wants to turn a profit, as art collectors do.
Sure, of course, yeah.
So he's planning.
It's an investment.
So he's planning to resell the invisible sculpture at a higher price. Market insiders actually speculate that he could possibly do this because of the legacy of this. This is kind of a goofy thing. Right. The seller is quoted as saying, reselling nothing may sound strange, but in conceptual art, the idea carries all the weight. I'm confident the value will continue to rise because this piece exists beyond the physical. Okay. Are mushrooms legal? Mushrooms are legal in Italy, I think, right?
I'm sure.
Hallucinogenic drugs are. So whatever. Now, I have a little experience in this line of work.
You do.
Okay.
In the grifter line of work?
We call it alternate legality.
Okay.
And I should say we, because this venture totally fell under the umbrella of our companies.
It did. I didn't want my name associated with it, if I remember correctly.
But you cashed the checks, I remember.
I did. That's right.
So back in 2014, I obviously had way too much time on my hands. I think this was right around the time of the complete demise of the paper industry, and I was gleefully unemployed. There was a really horrible pothole epidemic in Chicago, 2013, 14.
2014.
It was 2014. Yeah. And we created something called the Pothole Store.
We did.
Online. Okay. Now it's we. Now you're taking some credit for it. And we sold naming rights to potholes in Chicago for $9. You got a very fancy certificate of authenticity with an embossed stamp that granted you naming rights.
It was our Trump University.
Right, exactly. $9. I mean, whatever. And believe it or not, we sold a shitload.
We did.
These. And we had other products too. We had...
I remember the complaint letters.
Well,
hey, this is a bunch of crap.
This is a bag of dirt.
It's a bunch of crap.
Right. But we sold quarter bags of pothole, Skokie Tokie, Wabash hash, right? Which literally was a baggie with a very nice label.
All right, you're gonna break the fourth wall right now?
Okay, so but we got a ton of attention for this.
We did.
And here's a piece from WGN, is this TV, right? WGN TV. Okay,
yep, here we go.
He started an online store. He is cashing in on potholes.
When you see a pothole, you think of an annoyance, right? I think of opportunity. So I started the Pothole Store. I would hear these ads all the time, name a star after somebody, right?
Yeah.
I know very few people that are worth a star, but I know a lot of people that are worth potholes. So I decided, let's make a website that we can sell the names of pothole, or you can name a pothole after somebody, and I named one for you.
When did you start this?
2014. Guys in the biz, you'll know that 2014 was a great pothole year.
That was the polar vortex year, wasn't it?
It was the harvest that we still speak about in the pothole business. We've had a couple of weak years. The harvest hasn't been good the last few years, but this has been a great year so far.
So you're the one guy who sees the crews out there patching these things, and
they're my nemesis.
You get a little irritated.
Right. I yell awful things to them, and thankfully there's not a lot of them.
All right, you want to show me some of the stuff that you sell here?
Absolutely.
All right.
Back of a minivan.
First of all, I'd like to present to you an official certificate of registry for your own pothole.
So my own pothole at
Right
the
here.
southwest corner of 43rd and Halstead.
Yeah,
that is my pothole.
Big seller here, the pothole snow dog.
Oh, it's nice. Oh, nice.
See
Look
that
at
little piece of asphalt
this. See everything in there?
Right. These are kind of expensive. These are kind of expensive, and the reason being...
The high-end item?
Yeah, this is kind of... Because it's really pretty difficult for me to get the little rocks and that little thing down there.
Yeah.
So time is money, so this is labor-intensive. You missed Valentine's Day, but possibly... Here you go, nice pair of pothole earrings there. And all of our products come with a letter of authenticity.
What do you think it is about potholes?
I think of them as little civic time capsules, you know, because you'll look at the debris and you'll go, look, or the debris that is in the pothole, and you go, look, it's kind of like a little time capsule. It's kind of the chronological of our culture. This one's been around for about 20 years, I think.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna find in one of those. You can name a pothole after somebody. It's just $6.99, you guys, to do it. Most of the items on sale are under $10, if you can believe it. Under $10. The website is thepotholestore.com. Obviously, having some fun with this too.
Right.
Something we all.
Oh my God!
And the
that is gold. I forgot how funny that was.
And you know the civic time capsule bit.
Yeah,
I found a Blagojevich button, campaign button, and I put it in a put it in a pothole. So, and you know, you're talking about the complaints. Yeah. Fox 32 put that on their Facebook feed.
Okay,
and they didn't word it completely correct, and it kind of sounded like the city was doing this.
Oh,
and it was just,
that's right. It went viral.
And just constant people were, this is bullshit. I cracked my axle in the Rahm Emanuel, or no, it was Daly at the time. Was it Daly at the time?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I also would get complaint letters after somebody buys a quarter bag of pothole, which was literally trash from my lawn,
right?
You know, and dirt from my lawn. You know what? I didn't go to potholes. I
never went to a single pothole.
and people give me letters saying this is just a bag of dirt. I'm like, look at the website. Right, there's a picture of a bag of dirt.
Yeah, we can't really sell you a pothole. It's empty. There's nothing in them.
And do you remember how supportive our wives were during that time?
I got to say, I was a little embarrassed about it at first myself.
But we were on the cover of the largest newspaper in Canada because Canada was pissed because they thought they had the worst
for
potholes.
A couple of years there, really. But it's not online anymore.
No, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, potholestore.com.
Have you sold any in the
last?
No,
the audience has waned.
Yeah, okay.
But please go to thepotholestore.com and
all right. I'm glad to hear we're still out
order
there.
a certificate of authenticity to a pothole that I do not own, but I will sell you.
He did make the media rounds. I mean, I thought that was pretty funny. You were on
LS and
eight radio shows, and you were all over the place.
I was on. What was the guy in Houston? God, it was. I can't remember his name, but it was the typical wacky.
Yeah. Hey man, hey, you gonna make me a pothole?
It was what was it? Adam the Atomic Atom or something.
Okay.
I mean, I did dozens of these shows, you know, and again, had some time on my hands.
Yeah.
We sold. I think we made.
I think at the end, when we're finally done and we look back at our incredible legacy, this will be one of the things that is mentioned.
That's on the Wikipedia page?
Absolutely. All right. I have a story for you. You probably heard about this. It was in the news. Kermit the Frog was the commencement speaker at the University of Maryland.
Do you have a Google alert for Kermit the Frog stories so you could flop out?
No, but 4 different people sent this story to me for real.
Really?
Yes. Yes, he was, the Muppets creator, Jim Henson, of course, is an alum from University of Maryland.
The late Jim Henson.
Right. So that Kermit then delivered he called it the commencement speech.
Clever.
Get it?
Yeah.
As graduates received their diplomas, Kermit urged them to hop thoughtfully from their academic pond into the great lake of society.
Right. Don't just search for the green. Right.
As you prepare to take this big leap into real life, here's a little advice. Life is better when we leap together.
But here's the most important.
You just went into a little Elmo-y.
Well, no. I mean, they're cousins. They look a little alike. But here's the most important life lesson that he mentioned to the students, which I really thought they should take this to heart. The main theme of this speech was do not take yourself too seriously. Yeah. And that clearly we don't. You just played the pothole store thing.
That is a great piece of advice.
It is a great piece of advice. And this is how seriously Kermit took this. He brought people on stage and let them do setups to jokes about him to prove that he could not only laugh at himself, but that he also delivered the punchlines.
Sure.
Would you like to hear some of them?
Sure.
All right, let's see here. Somebody said, "What do you get when you have two green balls in your hands?" And Kermit said,
"Kermit's undivided attention."
Here's another one. "Why does Miss Piggy douche with vinegar and honey?"
Oh, gee. I have a feeling that these are made up. Go on.
Kermit likes sweet and sour pork.
Why can Miss Piggy not count to 70?
Something about 69, I would assume.
Because at 69, she gets a frog in her throat.
And then, at the end, he's saying the Rainbow Connection. He was
blah, blah.
He was arrested for violating the DEI ban, sent to prison by the Trump Gestapo. Yeah. But so it didn't end well, but thank God Kermit's still out there.
And again, every show we're going to have from now on, you're going to find some Kermit story. Just make it up.
Hey, listen, I swear to God, people were sending this to me. So they wanted to hear it.
You got to give the people.
Give people what they want.
Well, it's like the Who. They're just going to play their hits when they come in September, right?
Exactly.
We got a review, and this is from Plopoplogod.
Okay.
Ploplogod on Amazon just this past Friday. They write, "When life gets stressful, don't listen to the show. I love the show, but I get stressed out hearing about all the stupid people in the world."
Really? Okay.
Well, there you go.
Well, we're going to stress you out here. I've got a good one. It's time for another feature.
Time now for Studio Walls.
And the words of the prophets were written on the studio walls. Rick and Dave.
So this is the part of the show where we dip into the Rick and Dave archives. And this week is the birthday of Jake the Snake Roberts.
The famous wrestler.
Famous wrestler. I must admit, I'm not a huge wrestling guy.
Who was your favorite wrestler growing up? I was a Dick the Bruiser guy.
And I'm just going to be totally honest, I didn't really like wrestling. I never watched it.
Dick the Bruiser or the Crusher?
Didn't watch any of it.
All right.
I was more of a roller derby guy.
Oh, the Thunderbirds.
Because they were the chicks, usually.
The T-Birds.
Yeah.
Wasn't the T-Birds a lot? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, we had Jake the Snake Roberts on. And, if you are a fan of this genre, you know that Jake not only was a wrestler, but they called him the Snake because he actually had a snake on stage with him. And we asked him what that was like and if he was scared of the snake. And
he was like a big deal. He was like
he was huge.
Yeah, he was like a.
It was during like the Hulk Hogan era. But here's Jake telling us about that snake.
Because I was just terrified, but it's so strange that when the bell rings and you go to the ring, there's that space between the locker room and that curtain. And once I hit that curtain, I'm not Aurelian Smith anymore, who's deathly afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake Roberts, who don't give a fuck about nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. I'm sorry, keep going.
And I'm so grateful that it's like that. because if it was the other way, I wouldn't have been able to carry out the gimmick. But I had a lot of bad experiences with that damn snake, because they had to stay in the hotel room with me too.
What they're like? Please tell me they're not sleeping in the bed with you. What are they?
No, only one time. But
right. Hey, we don't judge. We're Illinois, my friend. It's fine. Whatever.
Very pliable young lady.
Wow.
Okay.
She wanted that snake, huh?
Super freaky.
What kind of snake?
It was a python, wasn't it? I mean, it's your snake.
Burmese python.
And those are the ones that slowly crush you to death, right?
Not so slow.
Yeah. So did it happen to you a couple of times? Did you have moments where?
Yeah, once in Indianapolis, I was fighting Steamboat, who had the dragon at the time. He had that big kimono dragon. And during the match, we got to where we were throwing punches toe to toe, and the snake was around my neck. And all I remember is seeing car lights.
Wow.
And the car lights came at me, and it happened real quick. In a matter of 10 seconds, I was down and I was out.
What did they do?
Well, they get around your neck and they get those veins that go right to your brain.
No, but I mean, what did the people at the arena do?
The people cheered their asses off.
Jeez.
And, right, they thought it was part of the gig, right?
Yeah, and then Steamboat got it off of me, thank God, because if not, I would have been dead.
Wow.
Yeah, he got it. It's real strange, though. About 3 months later, we came back to Indianapolis, and whenever I got there, there was police out there. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And this guy in a suit and tie is pointing at me, and I'm like, what the fuck have I done now?
Yeah. Because there were things, weren't there, Jake?
Oh, yeah. They came running towards me, and I'm like, I didn't do shit, He says, no, I'm the building manager. We just need to know if you got the same snake with you. I'm like, well, why does that matter? So, well, the fans want to know. The people buying tickets want to know. If it's the same one, they want to buy a ticket.
Because maybe you'll really die this time.
Because they were looking for a little...
Fuck, man. Tough crowd.
That was Indianapolis.
That is a great story. Yeah. Jake the Snake.
What is the movie with? Is it Mickey Rourke?
Yeah, the wrestler.
Yeah. There's a similar, or he didn't have a snake, but he had some.
Yeah, it was all make believe.
Really?
Yeah, that's the part that I just couldn't get past.
Hey, Rick, can you cue the?
You know what? Before you say that, can I just say that? All right.
Oh,
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Say what you want now.
Why?
I had to find it. I know what you're going to ask for, but I didn't have it ready.
Rick, can you flop out the penises?
I can.
Okay.
Penises in the news. Rick and Dave.
That one's dry.
Rick.
Yeah.
This is from The Guardian.
Oh, okay.
The giant penis took shape easily as I passed through a village called Three Cocks. Meet the artist athletes drawing with GPS.
Okay.
In a bold fusion of endurance and creativity, a group of artist athletes are turning their running routes into whimsical GPS drawings.
Whimsical.
None more memorable than the giant penis that took shape effortlessly while passing through a village ironically named Three Cocks. With 3 legs powering the pen with legs powering the pen and GPS technology as the canvas, these athletes are redefining street art 1 mile at a time, proving that sometimes the best masterpieces come from a little cheeky inspiration. So you know what they're doing here.
Wow, you're just all about the art this week.
Yes,
it's all about the art.
It is very artistic.
Yes.
So what they do, you know what I'm talking about here, right? You get one of these apps, they map my run app or whatever, and then it'll chart what you do, and they're drawing these pictures.
Yeah.
Right? So there is a website called, what was it called there? GPSartify.com, and I went on it today. Yeah. So what you can do on this website is you can draw any picture you want, okay? And you put it in whatever city you want. hypothetically Mount Prospect, for instance.
Sure.
And it'll draw the exact map of where you have to go to make this picture, right? So I took a picture of it, or I did one here. This is, and I was going to do a clubfoot, but that was mean.
Oh, that's ouch.
That's mean. But so instead, for your honor, I big salami sandwich here.
Okay, that's
did you see
nice.
that with a pickle? Do you see the pickle there?
That's very nice.
And can you see where your route ends?
No.
That's McAllister's Deli on Elmhurst Road.
Oh.
Okay, so you start at your house. You start out.
It's about, and then I can order the sandwich.
You start at your house. It's like, what does it say? 6.12 miles, I think it is. You could just do this, and then when you get to the 6.1 miles, which will take.
That's the tip of the pickle?
No,
it's the base of the sandwich.
I don't. You know what? I don't even know from looking at this. But whatever. All right. Once you get there, you will have completed the salami sandwich and a pickle.
Well, thank you.
And if anybody else wants to do a penis or some other whatever, go to gpsartify.com, and it's very easy.
And this has been
Penises in the news. Rick and Dave.
And I have a feeling that whole three cocks thing, they knew what they were doing.
I have a story for you. On an island in Panama, a fad that one researcher has called viscerally disturbing has recently taken off among a group of young male monkeys. Now, this is actually kind of a deep story. Adolescent juvenile monkeys have started to kidnap infants of other monkey species just for kicks.
Really?
Yeah. The perplexing baby snatchings reported in the journal.
So this is monkey on monkey crime.
It is.
Okay.
It is. But it's interspecies monkey crime. So,
okay. All right.
They may, who knows what the status is of the various different monkeys. But in the latest episode, or the latest journal, Current Biology, it shows that humans aren't the only intelligent species with youngsters who pursue pointless activities that can be destructive to other creatures.
And some middle-aged people with pointless podcasts, too. Right?
I know, but adolescents especially.
Of course.
And it says here in the article, they're doing it just for the sake of doing it, to reduce their boredom or to have something to do to fill in the time and space of their boring lives. And the fact that this behavior...
Well, they don't have TikTok.
Right. And this behavior is copied by their peers, just like Well, if Kondu's going to jump in the lake, are you going to? Yes, I am going to. Very much like that. As it says, there's a period of time, especially when you're young, that you're just copying behavior with very little payoff. And boy, that pretty much sums up my adolescence right there. I'm a little taken aback at how closely this resembles America and our adolescents.
17-year-old boys.
For instance,
Yeah.
chugging. Never necessary.
No.
Never.
No.
Eating habaneros.
You know, as far as chugging goes, were you a Mug Club member at Willie's back in the U of I?
Yeah.
I remember after I completed that and I got my little card, 7932, by the way, I'm like, this is bigger than a diploma.
I know. I was fairly good at chugging, but why? What is the purpose of that?
And how's your gout now?
Not good. Parachute pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God we lived in the era of pre-cell camera.
Oh, did you?
I had a pair of parachute pants. That's how cool I was. Standing right at the stage during a Van Halen concert, right in front of the speakers. I said standing right in front of the speakers at a Van Halen concert. We were morons.
Yeah.
We were Jägermeister, Peppermint Schnapps, the Grateful Dead. 20-minute drum solos.
Okay, that is okay.
20-minute drum solos are just not cool.
Okay, that's called Spaceman, and you're uncool for saying it.
Playing quarters. There are no winners in quarters. There are no winners. The Who farewell tour? Oh, no. It's our last chance. We've got to go get tickets. So it turns out that monkey see, monkey do.
And it lasts for a lifetime with men, basically.
It kind of does. All right, we have another feature, and remember what we are. Have we come up with a name yet for this last feature?
I think it's just called email on my little list here.
Is it? So it probably has a jingle or something. Is that what you're thinking?
Something about email. Maybe
something
we get
like
email.
Yep.
Something like there's some new electric device or something. Or
yeah, it probably starts with E. You would think if you had to put it in.
Dude, you have one friggin' job.
All right, you know what? I'm going to try to dry. This time.
Okay.
All right. So we are getting emails from our listeners, and this one actually came through Facebook direct message from John M. It said, I thought you would get a kick out of this. It's a short video. It's like 30 seconds long. It's called The Worst Surprise Ever.
Okay.
All right. You don't really have to see it to understand what is happening here, which is good because this is an audio podcast. Here it is.
He's here.
Hey, it's Daniel. Leave a message.
Hey Dan, this is Al from work. We need to talk. I just saw the security camera footage and it's clearly you masturbating in the conference room. Come see me in the morning, please.
I found that quite funny.
Oh, God.
So, thank you, John, for that one. I enjoyed that very much. Okay, we have another show. We have another show. It's called...
We just finished up a great interview.
Yeah. Minutia Men celebrity interview. Tell everybody who it was.
Tim Gray, who is a filmmaker, a documentarian, who did this remarkable documentary about Bob Hope.
Yeah.
And how difficult it was for him to pull off his USO tour in World War II.
Yeah.
I mean, it was... Right. He traveled 80,000 miles.
Crashed a couple of times. Had near-death experiences.
Yeah, and got shot at and the whole thing. And we're of an age that Bob Hope was the wacky variety shows with Brooke Shields and
exactly.
and Rich
Mr.
Little.
T.
Rich Little. And it's really an amazing documentary on how
it is
devoted Bob Hope was and how much he meant to the war effort.
Yeah,
really. So
it's a documentary that's on
PBS
across the country. But you'll hear more. I'll be sure to tune in. I think it'll be posted on Wednesday. All right, so Dave, people to thank.
I'd love to thank Tony Lasano.
Yes,
executive producer Tony Lasano, and
you know who I want to thank for this week's show? Art.
Oh,
just art.
The people
in general, the people that provide art to us, and we can never thank them enough.
Like Kermit.
And frogs. But we should also thank frogs.
Ed Silla.
Thanks, Radio
Ed,
Misfits
for
Podcast Network.
Our podcast.
Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place. RadioMisfits.com. And we'll be back. Now, are we taking off next week?
No, we're taking next week off.
Dave's got some medical things that he's got to deal with.
Everything's fine.
But
we'll be back in 2 weeks for another episode of
Minutia Men.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at RadioMisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
Surprise.